In a world where motorcycles are becoming more tech-driven and futuristic, Yamaha has chosen to remind everyone that simplicity never goes out of style. Welcome to the Bike Bulletin, and today we're diving deep into the return of an absolute legend at the 2026 Yamaha SR400. Yes, the timeless thumper is back, and this time it blends pure nostalgia with subtle modern touches that make it one of the most soulful motorcycles of 2026. The SR400 has always stood for something special. It's not about breaking speed records or packing in the latest gadgets. It's about feel that mechanical heartbeats between rider and machine. The 2026 version stays true to that heritage, keeping the same authentic DNA that made it iconic for decades, but with refined engineering and a few tasteful upgrades that make it relevant for today's riders. Let's start with the design. At first glance, the SR400 looks like a time traveler from the 1970s that somehow slipped into the modern age without losing its cool. You get the same rounded fuel tank, chrome accents, minimal bodywork, and that signature teardrop silhouette that screams retro purity. The proportions are spot on, a long, low, and slim A, giving it a stance that's unmistakably classic. Yamaha offers the 2026 SR400 in three timeless color schemes: classic graphite gray, vintage candy red, and a special heritage black chrome edition that's expected to be the collector's favorite. The pinstriped tank and hand-finished detailing add that artisan touch which makes this bike feel more like a crafted piece of history than a production motorcycle. The chrome-finished front and rear fenders return, paired with spoked wheels that maintain the old-school charm. Even the round headlamp and analog twin-pod instrument cluster are a deliberate nod to the bike's roots. However, the 2026 model subtly integrates modern touches. The headlight now features a retro-styled LED setup, and the speedometer includes a small digital display tucked neatly inside, showing trip data, fuel efficiency, and a digital clock. Yamaha managed to modernize the SR400 without making it lose its authentic soul, and that balance is one of its biggest achievements. Now let's talk about what beats at the heart of this retro masterpiece. The 2026 Yamaha SR400 continues with its single-cylinder, 399cc air-cooled stock engine, a layout that defines the senior legacy. However, this is not the same old thumper from the past. Yamaha engineers have refined it with modern fuel injection mapping, lighter internals, and Euro 6 compliance, making it cleaner and smoother while preserving that iconic single-cylinder character. It produces around 26 horsepower at 6,500 revolutions per minute and 29 Nm of torque at 4,500 revolutions per minute, ensuring that satisfying low-end punch remains intact. The sound is pure music for those who appreciate mechanical rhythm. That thump exhaust note that feels raw, alive, and unfiltered. Yamaha didn't overdo it with electronics or noise cancellation. Instead, the SR400 sounds exactly like a motorcycle should: organic, soulful, and mechanical. This is a bike that rewards a rider who listens to the engine, shifts with feel, and rides with connection, and not just speed. And yes, Yamaha has retained one of the senior's most defining characteristics: the kickstarter. That's right. While many bikes today rely solely on electric starters, the SR400 proudly keeps its kickstart heritage alive, now assisted by a decompression system and digital ignition timing, making it easier than ever to bring the engine to life. It's a small ritual that connects you to the machine, that single moment when your effort turns into motion. For purists, this is worth everything. Moving on to the chassis, the 2026 SR400 rides on the same tubular steel double cradle frame, renowned for its simplicity and rigidity. The handling is old-school yet delightfully predictable. It feels light and agile at city speeds but stable enough for weekend highway runs. At just around 174 kilograms, the SR400 is easy to handle, making it perfect for both new riders who want a manageable bike and seasoned enthusiasts who appreciate mechanical purity. The 18-inch wheels with classic tires give it a confident, planted ride, while the front telescopic forks and dual rear shocks provide that comfortable, plush suspension feel reminiscent of vintage bikes. Braking has seen a slight upgrade. The front gets a 298mm disc with a dual piston caliper, while the rear uses a drum brake to maintain its period-correct appearance. Yamaha has also integrated ABS discreetly, ensuring modern safety without spoiling the retro aesthetic. It's a thoughtful move that keeps the SR400 practical for today's roads without compromising its character. Performance-wise, the 2026 SR400 isn't designed to chase numbers. It's built for the pure joy of riding. It's not a bike you race, it's a bike you experience. Cruising at 80 to 100 km/h feels effortless. The throttle response is smooth and predictable, and the vibrations are tuned just enough to remind you that you're riding a living, breathing machine. The fuel-injected engine ensures crisp throttle control and excellent reliability, while fuel economy remains impressive at around 35 to 40 km per liter, depending on riding style. The seating position is another highlight. The SR400 puts you in a natural, upright stance with a wide handlebar and a long, comfortable seat. It's designed for easy all-day riding, whether you're navigating tight city lanes or rolling down open countryside roads. The flat seat also makes it ideal for customization, and that brings us to one of the SR400's biggest appeals. Customization has always been part of the senior culture. Around the world, seniors have been transformed into café-copyright racers, scramblers, bobbers, and flat trackers. The 2026 version is no different. Yamaha has even introduced an official accessory catalog that includes retro mirrors, tank badges, leather seats, and exhaust options. This flexibility allows every owner to make their SR400 truly unique, a blank canvas of motorcycling individuality. Now let's talk about the price. Yamaha has positioned the 2026 SR400 smartly within the retro segment. The expected global price is around $6,499, while in Asian markets like India and Indonesia, it's expected to come in at approximately a superscript 14.8 a 5.2 lakh INR. In European regions, it could be around a negation 6,000 a 6,300. That's not cheap for a 400cc single, but you're not buying this for numbers, you're buying it for heritage, craftsmanship, and the feeling of owning something eternal. The SR400 has never been about cost effectiveness, it's about timeless ownership. Yamaha has also made this bike future-proof where it matters. It features modern electronic ignition, LED lighting, and optional USB-C ports integrated under the seat. The build quality is top-notch, from the paint finish to the switchgear tactile feel. Everything about it feels deliberately crafted, not mass-produced. Even the exhaust system, while meeting modern emission standards, has been tuned to deliver that distinct thump without artificial sound enhancement. Yamaha's engineers reportedly spent months fine-tuning the note so it remains recognizable, that single-cylinder heartbeat that defines the senior experience. When it comes to competition, the 2026 Yamaha SR400 sits in a unique space. It doesn't directly compete with hypermodern machines like the KTM Duke 390 or performance cruisers like the Honda CB350 RS. Instead, it stands shoulder to shoulder with bikes like the Royal Enfield Classic 350, Honda GB350, and Kawasaki W175, appealing to riders who appreciate retro authenticity and mechanical engagement over raw power or electronics. Among these, the SR400 feels the most pure. It's less about imitation and more about continuation of a genuine legacy. Riding the SR400 feels like meditation on two wheels. The gentle rumble of the engine, the subtle feedback through the bars, and the simplicity of its controls create a sense of harmony that few modern motorcycles can match. There's no traction control, no ride modes, no distractions, just you, the engine, and the open road. That's the real magic of the 2026 Yamaha SR400. It reminds you what riding used to be and what it still can be. It's a